If you are currently living in a market that is too expensive to live in, don't worry because you are not alone. With the high interest rates, the low inventory, and the high prices of homes right now, it's very hard to find cash flowing rental properties, especially if you're getting priced out of your own market. That's why in the next couple of minutes, I will be going over exactly step by step what you should do if you're getting priced out of your own market that you live in and how to continue growing your real estate portfolio. Because at the end of the day, I personally believe that real estate investing is the best way to build wealth. And this solution is something that many investors have been doing for many years successfully, and it's very simple. It's time to start introducing new markets by investing out of state, but not just any markets, no. Markets that are up and coming with rising property values. And I'm going to be telling you how you can locate them, build your team, and continue your path to wealth. And I know this is going to be uncomfortable and maybe even scary for some people if you haven't already invested out of state. Heck, I was extremely scared when I first purchased my first duplex, which was out of state. And even I made a ton of mistakes, but I came out the other side very successful. But with the systems I'm going to be talking about, you will be set up for success and not have to go through the hurdles that I did. So let's go over the 4 steps that you need to follow in order to invest out of state and continue growing your portfolio. The absolute first thing that you need to do is to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more real estate investing content. Although that would really help my channel, that's actually not the first step. The first step is to choose your strategy. Now quickly, this is the first step because there are so many different ways that you can invest in real estate. You can invest in single family, multifamily, commercial, or land, and you could also utilize a bunch of different strategies like fix and flip, short-term rentals, long-term rentals, you can do mid-term rentals, you can do motels, boutique hotels, you can do a whole lot of things with your properties. Now, all of those strategies that I just mentioned are great and they're proven to work, but I personally will be talking about long-term rentals for the rest of this video because that's what I personally invest in. But all of these steps can be applied to whatever strategy that you're using, not just limited to long-term rental properties. Okay, let's get into the meat and potatoes now. Now that you picked your strategy, it's time to pick a market. And I just want to say that this is a lot easier said than done, but here are the steps that I would take. And the reasons it's easier said than done is because I personally believe wherever you are currently living is the best place to invest. But if you're being priced out of that market, then you're gonna have to go and find a totally different market. So the first thing you want to do is look at surrounding areas in your state to see if there is a tertiary market that is less expensive and more affordable for you. If there is a market that you can locate within state and it's close to you, then great. But if not, move on to step number 2. We need to find a market that is more affordable, is a growing market, and has a great price to rent ratio for real estate investors. First, you need to start looking for those markets, essentially markets that you can afford purchasing in. To get the ball rolling, you'll want to go onto Zillow and type in the type of property that you're looking for and the price range that you're willing to purchase in. For example, let's say I'm looking for a duplex and I want to pay the maximum of $250,000 for a duplex. What I'll do is I'll go onto Zillow. I will not restrain within any area. I will just do the whole pretty much United States, but I would put my maximum allowed property to be at $250,000, and I would specify the property that I want, which would be multifamily. From there, if you scroll a little bit out on the map, you'll be able to see multiple markets with globs of properties that are within your price range in which you can choose that market. And you'll want to pick multiple markets, actually as much as you can. A good rule of thumb is to pick 10 different markets within multiple states. And the reason you want to do that is because it's very key in order to do this now, because in the next step you will need it. And typically I personally like to invest in red states, which is landlord friendly states, rather than blue states, which are tenant friendly states. Now if you don't know which state's a red state and which state's a blue state, then you can just look it up online. But having said that, I will invest in a blue state. I just personally would choose a red state over a blue state if I had the option. So remember when I said it's key to pick multiple markets within a couple states? I will tell you why it is right now. Now it's time to do a little research on those markets that you picked. What I do is I go over to the Harvard Joint Center for Housing Studies website, and it has amazing information. If you play around on this website, you'll not only be able to see the affordability map, where population trends are headed in 2023 and 2024, and which markets are steadily improving. For instance, if you go over to the research tab and you go over to demographics and projections, scroll down a little bit, you'll see an interactive map that says migration driving population gains and losses. If you click on that, you'll be able to see the population trends. The more red it is the more people that are moving to this area, and the more blue is the people moving from that area. So what you want to do is, let's say that we picked a market over here in Ohio. And for instance, we're looking at Lawrence, Ohio, and it says total population change 177. It's in the red, which means that there's more people that are moving into this area. This might be a good market if this is one of the ones that you located. Lastly, once you look at the graph, you find out the information that you're looking for and you decide which markets that you want to move forward with. Then you want to start reaching out to local experts, which leads us into the next step. It is time to assemble your team. And I know a lot of people say you have to pick your core four, which make up your contractor, real estate agent, and your lender, or the person you get your money from. And while I know that all four are extremely important and pivotal in the success of your business, I really think you only need to focus on two of them, and from there you can get the rest of your team. The first of the two is your real estate agent or your deal finder. Now, the reason you really want a good real estate agent is because they're going to know the local market, the local knowledge, where things are being developed, what are the good spots of town, and where you should be investing. They're going to be a key resource with boots on the ground because you will be investing out of state. And there's multiple ways to find really good real estate agents. The first extremely easy way is to go on Zillow, look at recently sold, and look at the type of properties that you're interested in. If you take our example from earlier, if you look at all of the duplexes in the area and look at the listing agent and buyer's agent, you would just want to keep track of those agents and then continue looking at all the other properties that sold that were duplexes as well. If you're seeing the same name over and over, they are constantly either selling or representing buyers that are purchasing the kind of property that you want, and they may be best to reach out to and introduce yourself and let them know that you're interested in those types of properties as well. The second thing you can do is join local real estate Facebook groups, and you can put in there that you're looking for a real estate agent that likes to work with investors and has the experience with that. The one thing I found with this though is you're gonna get spammed with so many realtors in the area, even if they have no experience working with investors or people purchasing properties in general. If they don't even have a deal yet, everyone's gonna flood your DMs in Facebook and on your post, and it's gonna be hard to swift through that. But you can find a diamond in the rough by doing this. And right after interviewing those agents, picking the top ones, then you'll wanna ask them for their vendors list. If an agent does not have a vendors list, well, you might wanna be a little cautious, but a very good experienced realtor that works with investors is going to have a vendor list that has property management, different types of contractors, mortgage lenders, and everything you need in the process of purchasing a rental property and sustaining that business. Which from there you should take their recommendations on property management as well as do your own due diligence in order to pick out a couple property managers that you can interview as well. And before going in or doing a Skype call and interviewing these property managers, you'll really want to make sure you write down a bunch of questions. I've always found that the more questions the better, even if they sound stupid in your head. The last thing you want to do is get into an agreement with a misunderstanding on a certain topic. Now you went through all the necessary steps, it's now time to start receiving deals and making offers. This is when you rely heavily on your real estate agent and your property manager to make sure they give you accurate information on rental prices and what you can rent the property out for. I would get the opinion of both your real estate agent and your property manager separate of their opinions of what you can rent out a property for, and be a little bit more conservative. Whenever you want to offer on a deal, send it over to your property manager so they can take a look at it, and make sure that your real estate agent lets you know if it's in a great area, if it's an improving area, in an area that you should be investing in. Now that you have the framework in order to invest out of state, it's time to take action. If you like this video, consider subscribing and liking this video. I appreciate everyone, and I will see you in the next one. Happy investing.